Harihi Om. Hearty fraternal greetings and good wishes to all the brothers and sisters. We have been through the MayCall, essentially with the triple teachings of the Yoga of Master CVV. Which eventually leads every student into a coursing through wisdom as one internalizes through prayer. And takes to the higher side of the solar plexus. The higher side of solar plexus is that where the 5 petals of the solar plexus turn upward while the other 5 turn downward. when you are initiated by a master of wisdom, every time you pray, you are in the upward looking part of the solar plexus, which is called Chitta. Chitta is consciousness, which is the point of consciousness posited in mind, on the basis of which the lower five petals, the downward looking five petals of work through, the mind works through with the five senses. That's the understanding. Imagine the solar plexus with five petals downwards and five petals upwards. We don't have to really imagine because already the figure is available in the teachings of Master Jwalpur. The downward looking five petals enable the mind to function into objectivity. In the center of the solar plexus, there is the positioning of Chitta, which is an aspect of soul. It's a point of consciousness. Chit means the point of Chaitanya. Because this Chaitanya is posited, consciousness is posited, mind functions through the five senses into objectivity. Chit is itself posited in the subjective side of the mind. Its impact is into the objectivity. Therefore, the first step in yoga is yogaha chitta vritti nirodhakaha, meaning suspension of the sense activity is the first step in yoga. Meaning, the senses do not function into objectivity and they turn into subjectivity. That is possible when you sit quiet and look within. How to look within? 3 classes we have spoken a lot. That is the basic work. So, as it sits within and orients upward, then you would have it is said that you have ascended from mind objective into mind subjective, which is called Chitta. Chitta, please don't mistake me when I say, is not correctly, the word is not correctly translated by Madam Bailey. She says it is mind stuff. It's not mind stuff. The stuff of mind is our behavioral nature, which is called in Sanskrit Svabhava. Svabhava. Svabhava is behavioral nature, which is also with the mind. Each one behave differently in a given situation. This is the sum total of the experience and inexperience of the past. Every person has certain experience gained and certain experience yet to be gained. The very purpose of incarnation is to fulfill the unfulfilled part of the being. That's why the soul incarnates. So this little ripe, much unripe nature is also posited in the mind. It is that which predominantly pushes one to express. A hasty expression, a hasty action, leading to consequences. There would be some wise actions, there would be some unwise actions. Because it is this mind stuff which is svabhava that pushes. That's not chitta. Chitta is consciousness posited in the mind. Its higher counterpart, chitta's higher counterpart is buddhi. Chitta is a point of light. Buddhi is a light that has tremendous illumination. Chitta and buddhi belong to soul. Soul also has a twin aspect in it. Soul also has a twin aspect in it, just like mind has a twin aspect. Soul can be separated soul or a soul that is in communion with the super soul. The soul that is in communion with super soul is called Atma. That is what we refer to as soul. The separative soul or the individualized soul which feels the pride of I am. Each one has in his own right the pride, isn't it? In English it is called ego. The pride. When the soul is in connection with the super soul, pride does not exist. Then it is Atma. When it is separated and defines itself, I am this, I am that. The soul in union, it doesn't define itself. There is no definition. It has only one definition. I am that. That I am. That is a soul in communion always feels that I am. The soul that separates from that communion feels only I am. When it feels I am, it defines itself. That's how we define ourselves. I am male, I am Indian, I am Parvati Kumar, I am this, I am that, like that. So much of concretization through definition. This is what is called in Sanskrit ahankara, separative consciousness. It is a facility. It is a facility, but it cannot be an identity. If you take to that identity, you walk into illusions. I read so much, I know so much, I am right, I did this, I did that. This I business is due to separativity of the soul. It's an inferior side of the soul, which is a facility but not a reality. For example, to teach, you need it. But it has to be always in union with the other side of the soul, which is in connection with the super soul. There is the super soul, and then there is the individual soul, which is no other than the super soul. That as I am, ocean as wave. Ocean as wave. I am not yet speaking of the Brahman, because Brahman is not even ocean. The super soul, the universal soul, Vishwatma, the cosmic person, Adam Kadman, Hame Dios, Virat, Vishnu, whatever are the names, these are all the names. It is that as the super soul, from super soul all descend. From the super soul an individual, from an ocean a wave happens. Wave is no different from the ocean, but has a seeming separate identity. Like that, each one of us have an identity which is apparent but not real. But we identify more with that identity, we build what is called ego. Ego not in terms of what is written in the books of Master Jwalkul. Ego in terms of the pride of the soul. It is because of that we discriminate. We can distinguish, we can discriminate. But we should also know that we are all that as I am. And then there is a further detail. So there is the Atma, there is the Ahankara, there is Buddhi, there is Chitta. This is the fourfold man. It is this fourfold man which is depicted by the cross. This is this fourfold aspect which is represented by the four Kumaras. Wherever you find four, it is this four. In Ramayana, there are four brothers. It is one only as four. Many who read Ramayana in India also do not know this. This can be known only through the keys of wisdom which a master by his presence enables a student to know. Each one of us is fourfold. There is the soul aspect, there is the separative soul aspect, there is the buddhi, and there is chitta. It is this chitta which runs this body. We are linked with chitta, we are linked with the body. Chitta is the fourth Kumara. With him it is linked at the solar plexus. So the fourfold Kumara which we are connected to mind, and mind is the manager of the whole body. Mind has 5 senses, and it is in this mind only our peculiar natures which we developed over years, over centuries, over incarnations is also posited. The whole yoga process is to de-link chitta with the behavioral patterns. Otherwise, we always behave in the same manner. There cannot be an improved behavior. An improved behavior. So the prayer of the Master, when you invoke a Master of Wisdom, any Master of Wisdom, and offer ourselves to him, he tries to de-link this chitta from the behavioral nature. And he tries to make adjustments to the behavioral nature. And this chitta, by nature, is a product of buddhi. Buddhi is a product of the soul. Soul's light is buddhi. Buddhi's ray is chitta. Soul's ray is buddhi. Buddhi's ray is chitta. So what is immortality? This chitta, buddhi and atma, they are immortal. Only the body which is tied down is not immortal. So by strengthening the light of chitta, by influx of light via the soul, the buddhi, chitta receives more and more light and develops the strength. And then one picks up the needed discipline by self-evolution, not by imposition. Impositions don't work. You should not do that, will not work. What works is, you shed more light. When you shed more light, the ignorance is to some extent neutralized. Shed more light still. Ignorance is further neutralized. This is how the presence of the Master causes the needed change in the behavioral nature. without any change in the behavioral nature, however nicely we try to behave, it is only we are trying to build a facade, and we are not that which we project. We tend to be nicer, though we are not all that nice inside. This is what is called social etiquette. Many things are done only with social etiquette, but not with the deep intent. Only to please others. Yes. Whether you are really pleased inside or not, just to please others we do things, isn't it? Because we have to relate to him or to her and get our things done. So we show that kind of etiquette. By that, you are building certain falsehood into you. Greater the etiquette without intent, greater is the falsehood. It is more for social purposes. We say so many nice things, which we don't really mean. That's what I meant by that bookmark. The bookmark is, society prepares men of social etiquette. That would not, when it comes to yoga, the more and more things are done with intent. And you are more and more associated with the chitta in you, which has a natural orientation to buddhi. Natural orientation to buddhi. See how much we have to now bring the mind towards the field of wisdom. But if you turn inward and then take to chitta with the help of the master, you are already into what we call the alignment with the inner man. With the inner man. That's why in ancient times, the practice of meditation was more at solar plexus. But now it is at the heart, that is at buddhi. In Raja Yoga, it is from buddhi we build bridges to chitta. For that, the scheme given is what was said yesterday, to see the divine in all. By imposition of that, we bring in more light to chitta. Our behavior would not show up impatience, intolerance, biased attitudes, biased thinking, falling into dualities. That's how Raj Yoga approaches. Let me cut short the whole thing. By being regular in prayers, firstly the master lifts you into chitta and he repairs the behavioral nature. There is nothing else to repair. What is to be repaired is your way of speaking, your way of thinking. These two are repaired. your attitude towards desires. These are put to repair by him. He puts you into chitta and he does the work to repair. That's what he says. Just as I said, when you go with your vehicle to a mechanic, the mechanic says, sit quiet, sit peacefully, read something, I take care of your vehicle. That's what the master intends doing. Step aside from your vehicle, I will repair your vehicle. What is to be repaired in the vehicle? Only the undesirable behavioral part. Undesirable behavioral part, which each one of us consciously know. If we question our own conscience, we know things which we need to improve upon. That is what he attends to and repairs. Body as such is divine. It is due to the... Don't think body is sin. Body is divine. Because this body is an image of God. The human body is prepared in accordance with the due and ancient form, which is that of the cosmic person. That's why when a human is prepared by creation, the prophecy is said to be fulfilled. Human body is not a problem. It's a great facility. It's a facility which even devas don't have. Even devas need humans to carry out certain things. Because a human can touch down, a deva cannot touch down. He cannot touch down. In the human body, the whole cosmos is there. All the planets can be formed. Planetary centers are there. All the 12 sun signs are there, the zodiac. The 27 stars can be seen. There is the cosmic plane, the solar plane, and the planetary plane within the human body. It's a microcosmos. Human body is very divine. And human, vis-a-vis his soul and his ahankara or separative soul, buddhi and chitta is also divine. What is the problem? The problem is the peculiar nature of behavior that we developed due to mistaken identity. Ours are cases of mistaken identity. That I am is forgotten and only I am is retained. Therefore, out of pride, ignorance sets in. And then there is ignorant movement all around. When there is separative consciousness, there is already the ignorance. Ignorance strengthens the ego, ahankara. So therefore, the master sees where exactly the problem is and tackles that problem. The rest is fine. So that is exactly the work that happens when you offer yourself to a master mechanic who knows what is to be repaired in your body. When you are delinked for a while with your behavioral nature, your chitta orients to buddhi. Your subjective mind orients to buddhi. And buddhi is a huge library of wisdom. The whole library is within us. So as much as you orient, turning inward, copious lessons of wisdom are received, copious letters of wisdom. That's how Master Geseke received spiritual astrology, spiritual psychology. And he says, these are from those whom I follow to those who follow me. These are from the higher circles. That's how it is. Once the chitta relates to buddhi, you are into field of wisdom, wisdom flows in. And that wisdom can be put to verification with the scriptures, which is also received in that manner. The world scriptures were also received in that manner. Earlier, humans who turned divine, to them they are given. So you are also given the same wisdom. There is no such thing as new wisdom. To you it is new. When it is new to you, you say this is given for the first time. Yes, first time to you. Wisdom is ancient. There cannot be new wisdom. It may be newly worded. Terminology can be in tune with the present comprehension of language. That's all. There was a grand teacher in South India, a Shankaracharya. He is in the line of Shankaracharyas. He is not the original Shankaracharya, but he is in that line. Once he taught on a very auspicious day, and one student took notes of all that he said. There were so many great revelations to him and to the group. So they went back to the master and said, Master, we must publish this. This happened just 100 years ago. The master said, what for? He said, for the first time such wisdom is given. Then the master said, if it is given only for the first time and it was never given before by the creation, if it was never given by the seers of the ancient times, I doubt if it is really wisdom. So don't publish it, he said. Don't publish it. He said, no, Master, it could be ancient, but it is so clear and so vivid, we would like to publish. Then the Master said, it's ancient wisdom. Isn't it? Yes. They said, yes. If it is already there, why should we publish? Either way, he discouraged publication. He said, just listen and work with it. If you print it, you circulate, but you don't follow it. There are many who busily print books and give out to the world, but they don't follow it. It's like the one who recommends people to sacred places. Yes. He says, you must go to Benares. I can give you the way to go. I can give the place where to stay. I can give you the methodology to go around. If you wish, I can book tickets. So he went on sending people to Benares. Benares is just an example. It can be Jerusalem, it can be Makkah, it can be Vatican, it can be any sacred place. Isn't it? Someone asked him, how many times did you go? He said, I am yet to go. I am yet to go. He did not go, he has been sending people without going there himself. So like that, people who promote books without themselves reading it are not doing any great job. So the master discouraged. So why I say this is, wisdom is ancient most. There can be no new wisdom. Please be sure of it. It is for those who do not know. When they come to know, to them it is a great joy, so they wish to inform others. That's why in the ancient times, wisdom is from mouth to ear. And it has to be registered inside but not outside. So you receive copious wisdom in the path of the Master. You receive as much wisdom as you need, not all the wisdom. Don't think that you can drink away the ocean of wisdom. As much wisdom as is needed for you, so that you are lifted up into buddhic plane, so much only is given. How much water is there in the water tank here, we are not worried. Do we have water in our house? That's important. That kind of speculation about how much could have been water in the tanks in this village, and where from it is, all that you can come to know slowly. For a person who goes to drink water, the first thing he has to do is to drink as much water as he can. Not to speculate about the whole thing. How much water could be there on the planet? If all humans drink this water, will there be water on the planet? This kind of discussions are there. Seminars are also there. Seldom people know that everything in earth and on earth keeps happening cyclically. If we just eat away all the rice fields, don't think there will be any more rice. There will be no more rice. It's not true. Again rice will come. Again crop grows. Waters are regularly formed. Minerals are formed. Petroleum is formed. Oil is formed. Everything is formed. Through the surrounding nature, it's eternal. It cannot be exhausted. It's a kind of engagement for people. So you will receive as much wisdom as it would lift you up. And you get lifted up. That's how they are lifted up. The person who focuses upon his obligations and his work is offered more and more work according to his abilities and his need for the society. That's how there is a statement coming from Master Jwalkul. Out of small duties properly performed, small duties to your parents, to your brothers, to your friends, to your family. Did you perform, did you discharge basic duties towards the surrounding people? Out of small duties properly performed will emerge larger duties, larger responsibilities, culminating into world service. It is step by step. You may have the target as world service, but you cannot directly do world service because you are not equipped to serve a larger section of community. If you cannot serve people in the surrounding, what great service you can really do to others? If you are irresponsible to your parents and your children, you would equally be irresponsible to the group. Undoubtedly. Because there is the seed of irresponsibility in you, indifference in you. You can't do great jobs outside. That's why we say, set your house first, later you can set the colony. So therefore we limit to our obligations, discharge them well, conduct the practice, you will receive every needed enlightenment. That's the way. Every needed enlightenment. That's how things are informed. You know the meaning for information? Information is receiving information, isn't it? But information. There is information. There is formation of wisdom in you by your association with the presence which is available to you in the buddhic plane. That is a sure and safe way of receiving wisdom than getting into the wilderness of wisdom. Don't get into the wilderness of wisdom. Things will come to you according to your need because nature arranges like that. And then you get more and more enlightened and more enchanted, you move into the buddhic plane. The more and more you move into buddhic plane, two things will happen. On one side your nature, behavioral nature, it gets neutralized. On the other side your ego also gets neutralized. The two will come and get merged into buddhi. That's how there is a meeting in the heart by which there is a good connection between soul and buddhi. Soul, Atma, buddhi, which is in the light of the soul, Atma, buddhi, and then what is called manas is a blind, it is chitta. Chitta which is unaffected by the behavioral nature. Behavioral nature is dissolved. Separative attitudes are dissolved. What remains is Atma, Buddhi, Chitta. But for Chitta, it is also called mind. It's a clean mind. Clean mind. Clean mind means unaffected by the stuff of the past ignorance and the related actions. Atma Buddhi Manas, you may say 1,000 times but not knowing what it is and not realizing what it is. So therefore, the process is Turning inward, staying in subjective light and meeting the light in the heart. Then it is a different story. This is what the Master promises to start with. That the moment you move into Buddhic plane, into the heart, your mind stuff is released, is no more. You tend to be impersonal but not, you don't have personality likes and dislikes. You can happily smile at the person who likes you and at the person who doesn't like you. You can equally extend your hand to shake to the person who likes you. You don't have likes and dislikes. That's the neutrality. See, this neutrality is worked out through prayer also. Neutrality is worked out through the second principle also. Yesterday I explained how it is with the second principle. Yesterday time was running very fast for me. Today, a little more. So they are all interconnected. Prayer, observing the one Brahman in all, whatever you call it, Brahman or soul or divine, in all. And an attitude to offer. Offering is also there in prayer. It's not that in a prayer you just sit and say, okay, Master, what will you do for me? Not like that. I heard a lot about you. Okay, you do whatever you can do for me. For me. No, it's not like that. Offer yourself. And let him do. The Master said, offer yourself and see what is happening within. Prayers are offering. That's what I said yesterday. Prayers are not for seeking. When you do that, the rest of the process is just a happening. You first realize immortality, later the urge grows for the soul to unite with the Brahman. The placement of the soul in sleep hours is in the higher heart center, and during the wakeful hours it is in the Ajna center. And the place for buddhi is in the heart. From where you step down into chitta or you step down into buddhi, into the soul aspect. Then the next step is relating as soul to the Brahman. That is what is called annihilation of individual existence. He said that also I would grant. Because he can be in Sahasrara according to demands of time and according to demands of plan. If you wish, you can incarnate. So this is the work which is intended by the Master. You know, the Master himself was an advanced initiate from the ashram of Master Jupiter. Master Jupiter is said to be the one who helps the seven masters only in emergency. The regular plan is run by the seven masters on this planet. Master Jupiter is available at call by the masters. It has been so from times immemorial. May you please read what is said of Master Jupiter in the books of theosophy coming from Theosophical Society, or read under the caption Agastya in the Puranas. There is every year there is a worship for the seven masters and Master Jupiter on the fifth ascending moon phase of Virgo. There is a specific day called the day of worship of the seven masters and Master Jupiter. The seven masters and their ladies are equally, that's a female hierarchy, they are equally active in the plan. So is the lady of Master Jupiter. So they are all worshipped together. The seven masters and their ladies are worshipped in one side. Master Jupiter and his lady are worshipped on the other side, separately. That's the tradition. Because Master Jupiter, he gets into the system only when there is an emergent situation. That's why in the initial MayCall classes I used to say, he is like 007. Unless there is an emergent situation, there is no call to 007. Like that, right from the times of Genesis, creation, Agastya helped in all crisis situations. So there is a crisis situation visualized, therefore the energy is coming from supra-cosmic plane through Varuna, via Sirius, via Agastya and Dattatreya. They are all of that hierarchy. Dattatreya, Agastya, Varuna. Through that system, through that channel, it came to us through the central sun system called Regulus and entered into our system. The detail is many times explained. The one who is to receive the new impulse that has come from higher circles was chosen to be an advanced disciple from the ashram of Master Jupiter. Master Jupiter ashrams are generally on the southern hemisphere of the planet. Northern hemisphere you have the ashrams of hierarchy, generally speaking. Seventh ray master easily relates to Master Jupiter. Very easily relates. The seventh ray master's work is basically the work of Mooladhara. Therefore, seventh ray and Master Jupiter ashram are in close proximity. And then there is also the linkage to hierarchy through which it happens. Coming back to the story of that advanced disciple, he descended in the form that we know. Otherwise, beyond this form, he is with the Master Jupiter in the ashram of Nilgiris. So that's a presentation of the mount is also given this time. Many of our members visited that place. And invariably everyone had a good experience when they encountered that place. So he came from that ashram and he took birth and lived in Kumbakonam. By nature, he is a great admirer and worshipper of Lord Krishna. In fact, in that temple which you see, the mount which you see, that mountain, there is also a temple of Lord Krishna. The mount as such is called Durga. It's a Durga mount. And within the temple there is a temple, within that mountain there is a temple of Lord Krishna. There are many equations between Durga and Krishna, that's another story. So as he took to incarnation, he was himself a great worshipper of Lord Krishna. In fact, it is the case with Master Raman. It is also the case with Master Ike. They were all worshippers of Lord Krishna before the energy touched them. I wish to now give the story part, the yoga part apart. Yoga part, till now we have spoken. Yesterday's principles are important. Once you follow those principles, what happens thereof is the proof of pudding is in its eating like. So you find the related ascensions. So therefore I thought today I give briefly the biographies of the three masters whom we invoke today within the given time. Master CVV, whom we know, his name is Kansupati Venkatrao Venkaswamirao. Actually, if you try to take the initials of his name, it would be CVRVR. But the sound key was decided by the energy to be CVV. So he was living a very splendorous life. He was born in a rich family and he was well educated in Sanskrit and in English. And he had equal access to Vedic knowledge and also to theosophy. In fact, he was a member of the co-Freemasonry initiated by Madame Blavatsky. Being a disciple by birth, he knew the very purpose of his incarnation. That's why when Madame Blavatsky was lecturing in Adyar, Theosophical Society, under the great banyan tree, knowing the plan for which he has come down, he purposely went to the Theosophical Society Adyar, went up to the banyan tree where she was giving classes to some 30-40 theosophists. From behind, he looked at her. You know the madam. You know the madam means you have read about her. Not that you have met her and spoke to her. You may have in the previous lives, which you may not remember now. When he looked at her, Madame Blavatsky herself has such a deep and powerful and transparent eyes. If she fixes her gaze on this glass, no one can move this glass. However strong you are, you can't move it. Such is the power she had. She could move things with her eyes. She was born with such faculties. The master looked at her and she was, for a moment, stunned. For a while. Later the master diverted her view, his sight, sat for a while, and before he left, he smiled and left. Later he informed he wanted to make a conscious contact because she would be needed for her work when he takes up the work. Blavatsky knew that a great energy is descending from the south of our system. She prophesied it. That from the south, an energy of tremendous love would be received into our system and also onto our planet, and there would be an avatar taking place in the century to come, that is in the 20th century. And later she departed from the physical, taking the clue from the madam, her disciples, Annie Besant and Leadbeater. They tried to look for a good channel, a pure being, and train him so that if possible the energy can descend into that channel. He is a very high soul. In his own right, Sri Jiddu Krishnamurti is a very high soul. And he received very rigorous training. It's not that there was any defect in him, but the plan was otherwise. The plan was to come into manifestation through the ashram of Master Jupiter upon the planet. For that reason, already Venkaswami Rao took birth. So therefore he made a contact with her and left. And he was worshipping Lord Krishna. And he was himself a great singer. Many do not know that. Maybe sometimes I said it. He was himself a great singer. He was living on the side of the river Kaveri, on the banks of river Kaveri. During morning and evening he was singing, and he was known to be a very magnetic singer. Many were listening to him and getting into a kind of trance. Even the cows and such other animals that move nearby were also affected in a good way by his singing. He had many dimensions. He had many dimensions in him. A Vedic scholar, an English scholar, fairly accomplished person in modern and ancient education, also held such a good position as mayor of the city of Kumbakonam, well connected to the local king, who is himself a great admirer of ancient wisdom, Indian literature, and Indian music and art. Many times the master was visiting the palace of the king in Tanjavur, which is about 40 kilometers from his house, from his town. And many more times the king could not resist but to come and meet Master CVV in his house. Imagine the king himself coming to the house of a subject. That was the prominence he had in the society. Because he is either way accomplished. And he was very fond of food. He was always taking sumptuous food and was serving sumptuous food. Imagine, every time he offers food, he used to offer 16 courses minimum. 16 courses. That was his style. He was very playful in his life, married and had children. Then the hour came that the energy was to come. That was around 30th March. The touch of the tail of the tail of the comet touched the earth. People were wondering, they were all seeing the comet. In fact, Nicola Roerich himself painted many pictures about the advent of comet into our firmament and its descent also. There are paintings relating to that. More than 2 or 3. Very beautiful. So there was a lot of news about this comet moving around the earth and the likely chance of its coming in the great proximity to earth orbit and even touch the earth. Had he not been an advanced disciple and a great initiate, he would not be sitting in a meditative posture as we see him now in the midnight hours to receive that energy. He was conscious of the visit of certain energies from extraterrestrial regions. Every time comet descends, it brings certain energies. Because it comes from other circles and comes into our circles, they are used in the system as messengers of God. They bring in different energies. It also came a second time around 88 and there was a harmonious convergence. Thereafter only we had this computer and all other things emerging in a great measure. This internet, in 7 years, in 9 years thereafter there is internet. So therefore, when the energy was visiting, he was very conscious and he was sitting in his meditation room with an intent to receive the energies which are intended to be transmitted to the planet. He received them, he assimilated them. When he received and when he assimilated them, by the time just before that he went through the second marriage, because the first lady passed away. The second lady is a lady of consequence to us, in the sense, in her is posited the etheric body of Madame Blavatsky. That's why he particularly chose her, though the difference in age was very great, because she would be useful for his experiments in relation to this energy, because she had enough psychical abilities. And that's whom we see as Venkamma, the lady. In fact, she happened to be later the first medium to the master. The first disciple to the master is his own lady. So he received the energy and took time to assimilate for 60 days. And on the 60th day, in the month of Gemini, because it's a day for Gemini is the sun sign where the energies are transmitted to humanity at a planetary level. So he chose a day auspicious for transmission of energies, and therefore he decided to initiate people thereafter. During these 60 days, there were many visits from Himalayas of the Grand Masters to him. They visited him very frequently. And the lady was witnessing that. Because she is already familiar with these situations, she was witnessing that the high souls are coming from Himalayas and holding talks with him during night hours. It's all she herself recorded. The lady recorded that great seers were coming from Himalayas. She did not mention names and were holding discussions with them. There was also a child born between them. And that child, even as a month-old child, was laying itself in the lap of the master and was speaking to the master, and together they were holding long discussions during night hours, which was a wonder to the lady. And when he was walking the streets thereafter, after reception of the energy, even the people whom he knew before, who knew him before, were looking at him with awe. And they have recorded, saying that we always saw him floating on the floor, but not really walking on the floor. That kind of energy was assimilated and transmitted. When he transmitted this energy, he made it clear that it has come to lift up the earth. It has come to make adjustments even to some planets of our solar system. It has come to grant immortality to the humanity on this planet. It has a grand plan to lift up this humanity in a faster manner. That's how he made many pronouncements which were said so many times during the MayCall. He also demonstrated deathlessness upon himself 2 to 3 times, only to give assurance to his followers that with this energy, when you work, he was himself an initiate, it was not a big deal for him. And he demonstrated it on some disciples also. He demonstrated on his children. He demonstrated on the lady. He himself demonstrated departure from the body 18 times in 12 years. 18 times. We know from the autobiography of a yogi, Yogananda speaking about his master's master, Lahari Mahashay, that master used to demonstrate departure from the body. We also know from the story and the movie of Shirdi Sai Baba that he departed for 3 days and re-entered the body. It is possible only when one gains the golden body, the etheric body, the body of Buddhic light, and then later one gains the body of diamond light, which Jesus carried, which he frequently referred to as my glorious white robe. He had the facility of a causal body to carry out the task that he was entrusted with. He trained himself in that manner for about 18 years, the story of which is hidden for all exoteric purposes. So it's a very common process in yoga that it happens. The master worked for 11 years, 11 months, 11 days. 11 is master number. It's all very peculiar that he demonstrated. He gave regularly morning, evening prayers and transmitted the energies not only to the people who were before him, but also into the layers of the planet around. He has himself stated that he introduced the energy into mineral kingdom, into plant kingdom, into animal kingdom, and also into human kingdom. And thereafter he said so many prophecies which are there in the book Aquarian Master. Having conducted for so many years, he directly initiated some on a face-to-face basis, person-to-person basis. One among them is Master Raman, who fulfilled himself, whom we invoke. The Master, in the month of May, announced to his disciples that he is departing. The disciples came and requested, "Can you not come back?" He said, "I can, but there is no more plan to come back. The work is over. But I am available to you. I won't be in this body." They once again asked, "Kindly demonstrate for our assurance a couple of times more. Departure and return." He did it. One of the disciples, who is a philosopher, is a great philosopher in India, a disciple of the Master. Some of you may have known, we had a philosopher president for India by name Radha Krishnan. This disciple of Master is a colleague of him. His name is Pothuraju Narasimham, popularly called as PN. During those times it was a fashion to call the names by their abbreviated versions, the surname and the personal name in 2 or 3 letters. He was popularly known as PN. So he asked the Master, "Master, anyway you are departing, for your memory, for my memory of you, you may kindly give one of your old robes." The Master smiled and said, "I want to give you new robes. Why do you want my old robes?" "I want to give you the robes of golden light. Why do you look for robes of cloth? If you wish, you can take one. There are many in the house." So, in the presence of all the disciples, he departed. Before departure, he said, "Don't burn me. Just sink this body into the river of Kaveri so that the mother Kaveri will take me to the destined place." The family did not agree because there was a tradition in the family. According to the tradition, we are all to be cremated. And they did not see their father, the children did not see their father well. They did not pick up, none of them took initiation from him. True to the spirit which Jesus said, no man is known, no prophet is known in his own land, and much less known in his own house. So they did not give much credence to his saying. He said, according to our family tradition, we have to cremate. So they have prepared the funeral pyre and they lit the pyre. When the fire is aflame, as if from nowhere so many clouds came. There was a huge torrential rain. The river Kaveri swelled and took away the pyre and the body. And thereafter it could not be found. It was all very mysterious in his. There are very many mysteries in his life like that. And it all happened in 20th century. Where things we got the tradition of recording things. But before he did so, he initiated. Out of those whom he initiated, 2 gained the same status. One is Master MN, another is Master VPS. Yeah. Their stories are also very beautiful. I pick up the story of Master MN because he is in this lineage. The other master took to the path of healing much more than the path of yoga. Yoga path includes healing, but if you specifically take to healing only, you will not proceed with yoga. Yes. To heal, one need not go very far in himself. He was settled with healing, but Master Raman settled with yoga, and he could also heal. When you are a yogi, every yogi is a healer also. Every healer may not be a yogi. So Master Raman, he was himself a very highly educated person, an advocate, like our Ignacio, an advocate. You know, advocates have such huge cases with horrible problems, you know. MN also belonged to a family where worship of Krishna is very deep. He was a man of heart more than of mind, by nature. But somehow Providence took him to advocacy. And the cases full of litigations, quarrels, conflicts, disputes, working with them not only with the mind but also with the heart, he became restless. He lost his peace of mind. He was worshipping Krishna to gain the peace of mind, but he was really very restless, unhappy, and he was only feeling, is this all the life? Daily going to the court of law and arguing for people strenuously. There is always the opponent who also argues. You have to prove your intellect more and more. To him it was not to his entire liking, since it was not his nature. But his family had a lot of barristers. Barristers of law, a high honor in education in law coming from the United Kingdom. Just like the Indians, to gain the honor of an English graduation, they used to take barrister of law, a kind of a qualification, a degree, a graduation. Likewise, these doctors also go, even today, to England to be called FRCS, meaning Fellow of Royal Society of Surgeons. A Fellow of Royal Society of Surgeons. That is called FRCS, Royal Society of Civil Surgeons. Something like that. So there were so many barristers, and there is a huge respect in the society if someone is a barrister. His own family carried many lawyers. Incidentally, our brother Ramana is also from that family. To that, he is linked to that family through the paternal side. So he was restless, not happy. He had his maternal uncle, a big barrister, a big name in our state. He invited him to Chennai. He invited MN to Chennai and asked him to take care of some cases. He went to Chennai. And attending to his uncle's cases. There is an younger brother to that uncle by name, Janak Ramaya, who is grandfather to our Ramana. Ramana was there? He was a follower of Master CVV. So one day he happened to go to his younger uncle's house and explained, I am so restless, I feel unhappy about all this profession. And his uncle wanted that he should come to Chennai to handle some cases. The other uncle, he is not a lawyer, he is not an advocate. He is a homeo doctor. See the beauty. And he is linked to Master CVV. He took initiation from Master CVV. He said, if you are so restless and if you are so badly looking for peace of mind, why don't you go to Kumbakonam, which is an overnight journey, and meet the Master? It so happened that MN was entrusted with some cases in a town near Kumbakonam called Tanjavur. Tanjore, the huge temple where I take you to show you the big Sivalingam. So the cases demanded him there, and then Master is only 20 kilometers from there. So he thought he would take the opportunity and go to see the Master. When MN arrived at Master's place, Master was at the threshold of his house, as if waiting for him. MN came and saw the master. He was thrilled. And master said, "What for have you come? What for have you come?" MN said, "I badly need peace of mind, master." The master said, "It is granted." Finished. It is granted. MN writes in his own diary that from that moment, I don't know what happened in me, that I never had any disturbance in my mind for the rest of my life. And MN, when he was granted peace of mind, he also knows from his uncle that the master initiates. So he requested the master, would you be so kind to initiate me? He smiled and said, "Come in." Then and there, he said, "Sit." And he initiated him and said, "Now you can go. It's over. Do this regularly morning and evening. You don't have to come here anymore. Everything will come to you. Everything will come to you. You don't have to come here anymore." So authoritative, so emphatic. Aman was surprised. And he was filled with the energy of Master. And he was so inspired that he straight away went home. He did not go back to Chennai and all that. And then he started practicing the prayer morning and evening. And within very short time, he could feel the presence of the Master in his heart. And Master was directing him from the heart. And he was, in a matter of 2 to 3 years, started initiating people. He wrote a letter to the Master that people are seeking initiation from me, can I do it? Even before his postcard reached the Master reply came to him. You can already start initiating people. Likewise, anything the Master Raman was asked by his followers, when he asked Master CVV in prayer, the next day he gets a postcard that you can do this. You can do this. And later, Master CVV himself declared to some members who came from Andhra Pradesh to Tamil Nadu to take initiation, he said, you don't have to come here. There is a little master in Ongole. He can take initiation there. It is he who named Master Raman as the little master. Even during his lifetime, within 5 years, he said he is the little master. And when people were coming from Andhra Pradesh to him, he used to say, how is your little master? They had such a direct communications between them that there was no need again for a Master Raman to go to him. And very soon Master CVV also departed from the body. And Master MN went on initiating people and healing people in an excellent way. And he himself demonstrated that he has attained immortality to his followers. I told you in one of the MayCalls how Master MN can simultaneously kiss all the members in the group. Do you remember? They felt that every member in the group who were under meditation, they wanted some experience from the Master. He said, I'll give you the experience, get into the prayer. Then when they closed their eyes and started praying, it looked as though in the prayer that they received a kiss on their cheek. Everyone, without fail. So after the prayer is over, he asked them, what have you experienced? They were like ladies, very shy to tell him what happened. It was very playful. Very playful. He was a smoker and a coffee drinker and a tennis player. So it only shows those activities do not prevent you to be a yogi. He drinks coffee, he smokes. Master CVV was also a coffee drinker, but not a smoker. Master MN was a coffee drinker and a smoker. So was Master EK until 6 months before his departure. 6 months before his departure, Master EK stopped smoking. So just to give you some stories relating to what happened after Master CVV. Master MN conducted yoga so well until 1944 and then departed. His practice was almost a child's play to him thereafter. Ever since the touch of the Master, he did not give up his practice, but practice was a child's play for him. It became so small in his mind that he was regularly going to the court, but morning, evening prayers were very regular. And like Master CVV, his house was a house which was always filled with mediums for morning and evening prayers. And in his house, the kitchen was on all the 24 hours. That's the specialty of Master MN. The kitchen, in those days there were no stoves, no gas stoves, nothing. It was like you see in Guru Pujas, how we cook food through the firewood. In the southeast corner of the house, he made a huge, a lengthy place where you can keep 4 vessels always cooking food. Rice, 1 vegetable, and then you all know the dal, and then the sambar. And yogurt, everything is always kept ready at home. Throughout, anytime people can come, take food, and there was no dearth of money for him. He served. He never charged his clients, this is my bill for the work done. He used to say, if you feel like you can pay, otherwise if you have, you can pay. If you feel like you can pay. He never asked as a professional that this is my fee for the work done. I adopted that model in my profession. So he was such a nice, very pleasant person in the society. Mind you, none of Master CVV's followers are cut off from the society. They are a success in the society and also a success in the other society. Yoga School Friends Society. He playfully conducted till 1940. He took initiation in 1916. And he went on initiating so many in Andhra Pradesh. So many. And his healing was very... If someone says, from a distant place someone comes, so-and-so was bitten by a snake, and the poison is so strong that is almost on the verge of death. He used to take a stick here and hit hard on the floor as if you hit the hood of the snake, and says, "Go, he will be saved." Saved. There are people, even today they narrate that their fathers went through this. And someone comes and says from a distant village, some very black scorpion has bitten my father and he is suffering. The poison is moving upwards. Aman used to take out his chappal and hit it on the wall strongly, in a strong manner, as if you kill a scorpion. Then the snake poison, the scorpion poison comes out. You see, that's how it is, the mass energy. Once a lady who is a widow, she received at the time a bounty of 4,000 rupees. 4,000 during those days is like 400,000 rupees today. Because the value of money is like that today in equation. She came to the Master for the normal prayers. Master said to that lady, "Look here, I am in need of money. If you have 4,000 rupees, you may give me." She was surprised. She received 4,000 rupees, some kind of legacy. And thereafter she comes to the prayer. The Master says, "I need 4,000 rupees. If you have, please give me." She said, "Master, I don't have so much money." Master said, "If you don't have, don't worry." Later, 3 years after, the lady came weeping. Because they were coming for prayers regularly, but there was no speech about money and all that. No conversation. She came and wept after 3 years. Yes. "Master, when you asked me for 4,000 rupees, I had that money." Yes. Then the Master said, "Yes, I know that. I wanted to save that money for you. Now you have lost it, isn't it?" He said. "No, Master, my relatives took away as loans, saying that they will pay me with interest, but they are not paying." Yes. Amen said, "That was exactly the reason that I asked you 4,000, not that I needed it, but to save it for you. But You spoke a sweet lie. She said, Master, please help me. He said, it won't come. It's gone. It was your karma, actually, that you should lose all that 4,000. I tried to see that I can save it for you, but you denied my help. Instead of giving me, you gave it to relatives. And they don't pay you because they know you that you are a widow and nobody will come to your help. And you need them. She needs their help. She is dependent on them. Why will they pay? They did not pay. She wrote herself, this is what happened in my life when I spoke a lie to Master. Like that. When Master Raman was speaking about immortality and the absence of death, etc., one scholar came and said, is it so true as you say? He is a person who grows rice in his fields. He said, bring me a bag of rice. Then he brought a bag of rice, a half bag of rice. He said, open the bag. He opened the bag, he touched all that rice with his hands and said, this rice will remain more than 100 years with the same fragrance. It will not get spoiled. Leave it in your family, let them check up. Now their grandsons, to them it's an exhibition piece. If people come, they show the rice. The rice is very much there, you can smell it. It is so fragrant and taken to the color like a golden rice color. It is available. If you wish to see, there is a place called Warangal on the way to Hyderabad from Vijayawada. So even rice grains can be granted such life which would not stay more than 4 to 5 years. Like that he demonstrated. He is the one who is helping for establishment of the energy of Master CVV, especially in the West. Especially in the West. He is always around whenever we are at work. And is generally willing to help. He has marked himself to this part of the globe by his own choice. By his own choice. Master Geseke was regularly visiting Master MN's house after he received the touch of yoga. Master Raman, the way he passed away, maybe in the afternoon, I can speak a little about Master Geseke. Now it is getting noon time. When the appointed hour come for him to depart, Master Raman, 3 years before he told his disciples, note this date, it would be very important for you. That date is very important for you to meet me, to come and see me. To some of his followers, he gave the date when, not saying that he is going to depart, he said, on this day you may have to come and see me. He said. Many of them noted. On that day, in the morning, he took an oil bath, a head bath, a very detailed bath, as if you take it, generally we take it on festive days, on Saturdays, and on birthdays. A head bath, applying oil to the whole body and applying special paste, cleaning, extra cleaning of the body. So that day he did extra cleaning and has put on all new, the dress new, everything new. His lady asked, what is so special about this day? You are wearing all new clothes and putting on new things and even rings, etc. He said, yes, it's a special day. Very special for me, he said. Then he went to the court, to the law court. He met all friends and the judges, spoke. Usually, he was always a very cheerful person. He had an extra cheer. He demonstrated extra cheer, spoke to everyone, including the servants who helped. He was moving by a horse-drawn cart. He had his own. He was the owner of a horse-drawn cart. That was the style during those days. There were no motor vehicles in such towns. They were all very new motor vehicles, motor cars. So on the way, he stopped at friends' houses and said, how are you? And made specific inquiries on the return. Came home, took shower once again, and was about to sit in prayer. Normally his lady also joins him in prayer. So she sat, but then she remembered maybe there were some 5 minutes left before prayer. Maybe I'll bring you a cup of coffee, she said. She went into the house to prepare coffee. Master sat in prayer mood, closed his eyes. And when the lady came back with a cup of coffee, he was not there. The body was there. She was stunned and shocked. He did not even mention. No, I don't need coffee, please sit. He left. She immediately informed the people in the town and they informed the disciples. They all came. He gave this date to us, we were to come here, they said. They showed in their own books that he gave that date and we were to come here. We did not know this. Such was his. It's a glorious departure like Master Raman. Master is, just as Master CVV departed, Master Raman departed like. That's how it was. And then comes in the lineage Master E.K., whom mostly we know this story because the book is there. About Master Raman also soon, the book will come. I am trying to collect as much information and some episodes relating to his yoga and his healing, so that the book would be of great interest, because he is a very interesting personality. Master E.K. into his life, he was also a devotee of Krishna. And he had already carried the experiences in a different plane about Krishna. And he had the realization of Gayatri mantra in him. When he has set his life, he thought, now hereafter, now that the family is set, I have a job to do. He had a teaching job to do. let me set my meditation room and regularly meditate. So he brought one picture of Gayatri, prepared the worship room, and he started the prayer of Gayatri. This figure was appearing in great light, which he did not know. It's a direct approach of Master CVV to Mastery. In the case of Master Ike, he never knew the Master before. MN went there knowing about him. Master Ike did not know. Every day, he closes his eyes and invokes Gayatri and starts singing the mantra as we do, which is taught to us by him. He was seeing this figure in great illumination, not knowing who he was. He was wondering, who is this man that appears with such great light when I sing Gayatri? In the beginning he thought it was his illusion, but daily it was happening. Bit by bit, from foot to head, in a matter of 7 days, the whole figure appeared. The moment he sings Gayatri, he is coming. Recently I heard another episode about Master CVV, where an old person who has been with Gayatri especially over 6 decades, he came to me one day saying that your master CVV, he appears to me every day when I chant Gayatri. I told him this is how it was with Master Ike. Later, his master started speaking to him. He passed away recently. He said, whosoever intently invokes Gayatri, it is my bounden duty to give my appearance to them. I don't know what it is, but it was so with Ike, and I have found another case like that. So thereafter his life started, Master Ike's life. And slowly he came to know about the prayer. And through prayer he received the plan of his work. And it is that plan which is being fulfilled. We will continue in the afternoon for about another half an hour to also give the dimensions of Master Ike briefly. And later it is my view to open the last session for questions and answers. Let us see, it depends how it, in the afternoon, we will continue the relation of Master Ike with Master CVV and the relation of Master Ike with the hierarchy through Master CVV. Stories are equally interesting as wisdom. Since it is now noon time, it is but logical that we conclude here and then reunite here at 4 o'clock. Thank you.